I'm TristaCurzydlo, and as Daryl said, I am an attorney. I've been, much to the embarrassment and chagrin of my parents, licensed and practicing in the state of Kansas for over a decade. As an attorney, I'm the least educated of their 4 children. That's the embarrassment and an attorney. That's the chagrin. So, have you had a good conference?
Yeah, it's been great.
Okay, I love conferences in general because it's a combination of 2 of my favorite things, people and food, right? You have an opportunity to hang out with people, your peers, that do what you do, and you get to tell war stories, and you get to learn, and then you get to go and eat. I think it's great, but about 3 years ago, I had to dial it down for 2 reasons: camera phones and social media, right? As soon as a camera comes out, my face knows it, and the muscles contract, and it goes like this. And I either talk all the time, or people only take pictures when my mouth is open. So it's horrible. And you know, after this, you ask, what you gonna do with that? Facebook. And then this morning, I'm showing off my new skill. I learned how to juggle, so I'm juggling bagels with a spoon on my nose, giving legal advice to passing strangers. I look over and someone's filming it. And I'm like, what you gonna do with that? YouTube? How many of you use YouTube? Now, I'm gonna clarify when I say use YouTube. How many of you watch videos on YouTube? That's everybody, because we watched one together yesterday. How many of you have ever uploaded something to YouTube? All right. How many of you use it for work? When I say use it for work, I don't mean while at work you are watching dancing dogs and singing cats. It's a work-related purpose. How many? Agents are using it more and more because they're putting visual tours or virtual tours online. And I see brokers using it as a tool to give a little spiel why you should come and work for me or why you should sell real estate. And it's become a more effective tool. But I want to know, those of you who use it, how many of you have ever read the terms of use? Would that be party of one? Oh, guys. The terms of use are crazy important. It's a contract. When you click, I agree, I accept, you are signing a contract. And those terms of use or terms of service, they clarify what that service provider is going to give to you and then what you're going to give to them. And more importantly, it tells you what that service, what that social media website is going to do with the information that they gather about you while you're there. The hidden risks exist in those terms of use. That's where risk mitigation strategies come in. So that's what I want to do today. I want to talk about a few of the most popular social media websites, and I want to walk through their terms of use. Because attorneys write them, they're loaded with $5 words. I want to tell you what the $5 words mean. When you leave today, I want you to have I'm going to arm you. And in your arsenal, I want you to have a vocabulary that includes those $5 words. Because Mark Zuckerberg could wake up tomorrow and change all the terms of use for Facebook. And you need to be ready to read them again and figure out what they mean. And then the next big social media website, when it comes along, you need to be prepared to read those as well. So I want to start with Pinterest. Has anyone heard of Pinterest? Had anybody heard of Pinterest before last night's cocktail party where I loudly announced Pinterest is the devil? All right. Pinterest is the fastest... Oh, I got in the zone. It's the fastest growing social network site in internet history. It's very unique in that it's the largest when it comes to women between the ages of like 18 and 45. Why is that key? Because women between the ages of 18 and 45 spend all the money.
Right. Yeah.
So being the fastest growing social media website that reaches that part is huge. It's been described as Facebook on steroids because its revenue income stream is huge. So let's look at Pinterest's terms of use. Oh, I'd be in so much trouble over this slide. Let's say, what is Pinterest? Anybody use Pinterest?
Yeah.
Okay. Pinterest defines itself But I like to think of it like this. Did any of you ever make a me board when you were in high school? It was a poster board, and then you get magazines, I'm seeing nods, and you cut out pictures that appeal to you. I did one. I remember it vividly. It had lots of pictures of shoes, New Kids on the Block, and bacon. And so I was thinking about it earlier this week and what would be on my me board today. So I did a virtual me board, and it's shoes and bacon. So when you go on Pinterest, Pinterest is all the magazines in the world in one place. And instead of glue and scissors, you use your mouse and you click on one, and then you pin it on your me board, and you tell the entire world, look how fabulous I am, that I like this. Wow. Shoes and bacon. So, you can see why Pinterest would be cool, right? What happens when you have a fast-growing social media website? Real estate agents discover it. And what do real estate agents do when there's a fast-growing social media website?
Jump on it. Jump in.
They jump in without reading the terms of use. And when they do that, they start using it to advertise. And those advertisements include what? Pictures, because that's what you're pinning. So let's look at those terms of use. They're huge. So I want to break them down. Let's look at this. You acknowledge and agree that you are solely responsible. This is how it starts. So what do they mean by solely responsible?
On your own. You're the only one doing it.
You are on your own when it comes to legal responsibility for anything that happens on Pinterest. They go even further and say that you acknowledge and agree that to the maximum extent permitted by law, you are on your own for anything that you do on Pinterest, any litigation that results from something that you do on Pinterest. And then they take it a step further and they say, not only are you responsible, but if there's accidentally a violation of the law, like intellectual property law, you're responsible for our fees as well. Nice. Now what's interesting, Pinterest falls under what's called the safe harbor of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. I am, in about 5 minutes, going to have a total geek out over intellectual property law and the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, so hang with me when I breeze over this part, okay? The safe harbor says, I operate a really big website, and on that website, people put things, videos and pictures, that might be the intellectual property of another. Because I am this huge website, I cannot look at everything. I cannot police what's on my site. So, I will put a system into place where someone can come and say, that's my stuff, take it down. And if I follow those directions, there will be no personal liability for the website. So Pinterest does that. So they're protected under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act under the safe harbor. When they're protected, who is potentially liable? You. This is the result of Napster. Remember when like 12-year-olds were getting sued over Napster? Pinterest is a very similar setup, but unlike when it was Napster, they now have protection under the DMCA. There's also an indemnification clause. Are we all familiar with indemnification? It's a $5 word. And what indemnification means is you will pay all the costs associated with making me whole. You're going to repair anything that's gone wrong, and it's your responsibility to pay for it. So, if Pinterest gets dragged into a Napster-type lawsuit over a picture that you uploaded that really belonged to somebody else, you pay Pinterest's legal fees. Fun, right? So, not only are you going to agree to indemnify them, hold them harmless, you're responsible for their reasonable legal and accounting fees, and it has to do with anything that you do with the picture on, around, or throughout Pinterest. So if you take a picture off of Pinterest and take it somewhere else, you're still going to be responsible for everything that's associated with that act. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Why Pinterest is the devil? Okay. You acknowledge and agree that you are solely responsible for member content. So what do we think when we hear member content?
You belong to something.
You're a member, so you're part of this community. And member content is everything that you personally pin or upload onto Pinterest. So you're saying Everything that I make available through the site application and services, I'm solely responsible for, and I'll indemnify if anything's wrong. And here we go. These are the big $5 words. I hereby grant a worldwide, irrevocable, perpetual, non-exclusive, transferable, royalty-free license. What's that mean?
They can use they can use it without paying.
It's theirs.
Yeah.
So if you take a picture of something that you think is really cool, you really like it, I'm going to load it up to Pinterest. Pinterest can say, that is a really cool picture. We are going to use that picture for our new worldwide campaign to spread the joy of Pinterest. And your picture, maybe of your child wearing a beautiful Easter dress that you thought was adorable, is now going to be on every Pinterest billboard out there. Are you comfortable with that? They don't have to ask your permission. They don't have to pay you for it. And you have given them the authority to do that. Should you have read the terms of use? Mm-hmm. Yes. All right, I'm out of time. Thanks, guys.
I almost didn't want to stop you. I wanted to hear the rest of this. Right? Yeah, that was good. That was awesome.